On this 80th anniversary, Pearl Harbor is a peaceful United States naval port. But on this day 8 decades ago, the seamen, marines, soldiers, and airmen had no idea of the hell that would be unleashed on them on that Sunday morning. By the end of the attack, there would be over 2,000 dead and 1,143 wounded. This caused Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto to say the following quote: "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." Admiral Yamamoto would not live to see his statement come true. The relationship between Japan and the United States started to deteriorate in 1931 with the Japanese invasion of Manchuria. It was further strained when Japan started a war with China in 1937, and then when they joined the Tripartite Pact, forming an alliance with Italy and Germany in 1940. Following the invasion of French Indochina in 1941, the U.S. froze Japanese assets in the United States and declared an embargo on oil shipments. At this time, the United States accounted for 80% of Japan's oil. On the morning of December 7, 1941, at 6:10 a.m., the first wave of Japanese planes was launched at Pearl Harbor. At 6:45 a.m., the USS Ward spotted and opened fire at a Japanese submarine off the coast of Hawaii. At 6:53 a.m., the Ward reported the submarine sinking, but decoding the message took some time. At 7:02 a.m., a radar station on Oahu spotted an unidentified aircraft heading towards the island. However, radar systems were less than a month old, and the lieutenant who received the warning thought it was a false alarm. Another officer believed it was a flight of B-17s from the mainland. By 7:40 a.m., the first wave of Japanese aircraft had reached Oahu, having evaded the United States' early warning systems. The Japanese aircraft flew in two waves. The first wave attacked the airfields and anti-air defenses on the west side of the island, while the second wave, about an hour later, focused on the eastern side. The waves went over Pearl Harbor. In the harbor, anchored ships made perfect targets for the Japanese bombers. Japan had created special wooden fins for their torpedoes so that they would work in the shallow harbor. Most of the damage to the battleships occurred in the first half hour of the attack. The USS Arizona was completely destroyed after a bomb pierced its ammo magazine, killing 1,177 sailors and marines. The Oklahoma capsized, trapping hundreds of sailors. The California, Nevada, and West Virginia sank in the shallow water. However, the Pacific fleets, which was 3 aircraft carriers, were at sea during the attack. The Japanese failed to destroy the oil storage facilities located on the island. Japan's fleet of 67 ships was located about 200 miles north of Oahu. They launched dive bombers, torpedo bombers, and fighter planes. There were a total of 353 Japanese aircraft involved in the attack. 29 were shot down, and only one Japanese ship at Pearl Harbor survived throughout the war. After the battle, 15 individuals were awarded the Medal of Honor. 51 were awarded a Navy Cross for their actions during the battle. The following day, President Roosevelt addressed Congress and the people of the United States, delivering his famous "A Day That Will Live in Infamy" speech. 3 days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. It is estimated that almost 65 million people died during World War II, which includes civilians, people that died from disease, people that died from the Holocaust, and soldiers fighting in the war. Many of those killed on December 7th could not be identified, and they were buried as unknowns. Now, with DNA testing, these patriots are being identified and returned to their loved ones to be buried with full military honors in their home communities.